Hello guys and welcome to today's video. So today we're going to be talking about Invest 97L. Yes guys, it has finally been designated as Invest 97L. The National Hurricane Center has been able to find a center within the storm. So let's just get straight into it. So all of Florida are going to see impacts from this storm. All of Florida. So this is a high watch situation and let's get into the video. So as you see here, this is the system right here. It's just this massive blob of rain, convection, thunderstorms. And there is a 30% chance within the next 7 days. For the next 2 days, and then a 70% chance within the next 7 days. So all of Florida should be watching this storm. From Tallahassee all the way down to Miami should be watching this because you don't know what's going to happen yet. So let's map out the three different scenarios. So this is the first scenario. It goes through the straits and kind of makes that northern turn. I kind of drew it a little wrong. It's supposed to go through the straits and kind of like curve around. But yeah, this is the first scenario. Through the straits, through the Florida Keys. This will be a little worse for South Florida, for the eastern coast of Florida. Second scenario, a little further to the west and hits northern Florida. So this is our second scenario, northern Florida. And our third and final scenario, it goes and hits the Panhandle. So that's the third. So this is the first scenario, Florida Straits. Second scenario, northern Florida. And third scenario, the Florida Panhandle. So yeah, there is a very high chance that this system will develop. And it could even develop before the actual weekend. It will develop probably towards the weekend, most likely, but it could develop before. It could probably develop as early as tomorrow. It just depends on the movement of the system and if it gets into areas that are ripe for development. So let me stop sharing and let me pull up some of the model ensembles. So let's get into the GEFS. So as you see here, it's kind of bunched up a little bit. Better than the GEPS, but as you see, some models are sending it towards South Florida. That's why I'm saying all of Florida needs to be on high alert for the system because you don't know where it could go. It could go anywhere in Florida. Heck, it could even go through Louisiana. It's not out of the question. All of the Gulf of Mexico and all of the Florida Peninsula should be on high alert. So, yeah, it could hit South Florida. It could hit the Straits. It could hit northern Florida, and it could hit the Panhandle. Most likely scenario as of right now, which is kind of why this is like the general consensus that it's probably going to go through the Florida Keys and hit towards the Big Bend area of Florida. But definitely a lot more of an eastern pull from the last ensembles because it was from here, like maybe around there, but not really a big difference. That means now that South Florida could definitely get in the action here, but all of Florida definitely needs to be aware of this storm, especially within northern Florida, and especially in the Panhandle, and especially just anywhere near Central Florida and South Florida as well. So now let's get into the GEPS, which is another model ensemble. This one's a little more scattered. This one, it shows some going towards the South Florida. It shows some going towards Southwest Florida and some going towards, Tampa Bay. And most of the models here are actually saying that this could go towards the Panhandle and northern Florida. So this one's definitely a lot more scattered. But nonetheless, anywhere in Florida could see action from here, even if they're not hit directly. Because this storm is very large. Almost, I think, 400 miles wide, 400, 500 miles wide. So even if this doesn't hit your area directly, anywhere in Florida, you will see impacts, including heavy rain. This is going to be a massive rainmaker, gusty winds, and increased tide, especially since on August 4th, which is my birthday, by the way, so it will be a new moon. So that means that tides will be increased. Tides will be increased, which will really heavily increase surge if there is any storm surge associated. So next, let's get into the sea surface temperatures. Boom. Look at that. The Atlantic is basically a big old tub right now of bathwater. Because you see here 31 degrees Celsius, 32 off of Tampa Bay. We're getting into an area that is really, really conducive. It's like a giant pot just ready to stir and make a big old soup. So it's a weird way to put it, but it's true because it's definitely extremely, extremely warm by the Bahamas and everywhere in the Gulf of Mexico. Because we're getting into that La Nina year, water temperatures are going to be increased, and that's why the National Hurricane Center is forecasting a very, very, very um above average season with around 20 something named storms, which is mind boggling. This is the highest prediction, and it's very stern on that. So, and it's, I can't admit, we've been on a lull since Hurricane Beryl, but the peak of hurricane season, boom, boom, just like boom, bro. It's going to like actually go a little crazy. So, and this isn't to like scare anyone, it's just facts because water temperatures are extremely warm, near record highs. God forbid there is a really bad system, a hurricane, major hurricane, God forbid, anywhere, and anytime throughout the season, but we're not ruling it out. So, yes, water temperatures are extremely warm here, which will make this system kind of blow up. The thing about this, though, is that it's having a lot of land interaction. So it will take just a little bit of time to develop. And by the time that it gets near, say, Miami, it'll probably be most likely just a tropical storm. Well, not just a tropical storm, because tropical storms still have a lot of impacts. So it will definitely be a tropical storm. And by the time it gets into the Gulf, we are rolling out a hurricane. So let's get into the actual models now. Wait, let me pull that up real quick. Okay. So these are the forecast models. These are the models. This is the GFS model. As you see here, this is around August 2nd. It's just a big old blob. And then it starts to tighten up a little bit. It's kind of going with that second solution. Well, not a solution, but like that second scenario where it goes into northern Florida. 997, 993, and boom, on Monday. And then it kind of just hangs around a little bit, just like kind of skirting the East Coast, and then hits North Carolina. So this is obviously really far out. So I don't really trust it until it gets a little more close, as I like to say. Then let's go to the European model. So the European model, it's just a big old mess. You see August 2nd, it's kind of just a big old blob of rain. And August 3rd, the 4th, it's just not really doing anything with it. And yeah. Then let's go to the CMC. This is the Canadian model. You see here, it's kind of going with that second alternative as well. Actually, maybe a little bit more to the first, because it's going through the Florida Straits, kind of wraps itself together, and then hits as maybe a minimal tropical storm. So this is probably going to be the best case scenario, which is definitely not the best. The best is of best case scenario, but you know, the Icon model. This model did very good with Beryl. So same thing, 1004, and then just kind of meanders around the East Coast and then good ending, kind of makes itself go back to sea. Are there any? Yes, the H-Worth models and the H-Mon and all of these hurricane models have finally been released. So let's see what the H-Worth is doing. Okay, so it's going through Cuba. Kind of takes that second alternative, the third actually, and then hits wow. Wow, that's a strong hurricane. That is a Cat 2, 973 millibars. And yeah, it just kind of hits the Florida Panhandle. Hopefully that does not happen, but the intensity guidance is showing a lot with this. So we'll get to the intensity in a moment. Let's go towards the H-Mon. So the H-Mon is kind of just kind of just going towards Alabama. So good ending, doesn't it, Florida? For Floridians, bad ending for Alabama because Alabama is getting hit by this according to the H-Mon. That's what I'm saying. All of Gulf of Mexico could be in play in this, as far as Louisiana. Let's get to the HAFS A parent. Okay, so kind of same thing. It's taking the third approach. Kind of just going towards the Florida Panhandle. And then HAFS B parent. I think HAFS A is just a little better, in my opinion. And I think I see why. Because it is doing its own damn thing. It is just going down. It is freaking out. So basically, tropical system gone rogue. And now that's the good ending. But I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah. Okay. So let's stop that. That was kind of goofy. All right. Let's get into the intensity guidance, which is not goofy whatsoever. One model's taking it all the way up to a Cat 2. And what they're saying is, wow, some of them are being pretty hardcore and making this tropical storm as early as 12 hours and, going up to those higher categories. So, yeah, you got to watch out for that. So, yeah, around maybe 24 hours is when it's finally going to start getting its act together, which is once it starts getting into the straits and starts getting towards South Florida and all those places, will definitely be within 72 hours, August 3rd, I'm pretty sure. And at night at August 3rd. So South Florida, you'll start seeing impacts around August 3rd, around nighttime, early morning into August 4th. So, wow, what a birthday present for me, I guess, because my birthday is August 4th. So, whatever, not what I wanted, but, Mother Nature's got to do its thing, so whatever. Central Florida and Northern Florida, your impacts will start being around August 5th through the 6th, through around the 7th, around later part of this week, and early next week. So around the same time, maybe around early next week. And then the Panhandle, if this goes to the Panhandle, kind of same thing, kind of just early next week. So the point of the story is that this system will definitely be one to watch, one that will be a pain in the butt for a lot of Floridians, but that's kind of the pain of being a Floridian, I guess. You just gotta go through these things in all hurricane-prone areas. That's just what summer is sometimes, and fall. So that's just what it is. It is what it is. But all jokes aside and all sarcasm aside, this system could be pretty hardcore, could be a hurricane, could be a tropical storm, could be anything. All of Florida needs to be watching this system. From Tallahassee all the way down to Miami, all the way down to the Keys, everywhere in Florida needs to be on alert. Tropical depression could form as early as maybe tomorrow, and could and definitely will form probably sometime this weekend into early next week. So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys you know, take what I'm saying into consideration and just stay prepared. See you guys on the flip side. Bye.